What is going on, everybody? You are back on another edition of Ballin Over Beers. I am Justin Dueppengiesser. This is week one. This is the betting show. The NFL is finally here. I am joined, as always, by my guys, Mr. James Fitch, Mr. AK Howe. James, what's going on, my man?
Not too much. I'm pumped. We can finally bet on actual football.
Doesn't sound like anything better than that, AK.
There's not much better than that until New York legalizes it online and saves the environment by cutting down on emissions.
Yeah, exactly. Stop our trips to the casino, New York. All right. I'm pumped for this slate. There's a ton of intriguing games. We're not going to be able to get into all of them, but we have something pretty fun planned for this year. So if you remember last year, we kind of went through some picks. We decided which kind of 4 bets we liked, and then we kind of kept track. So what we're going to do this year is we are going to give out our 5 favorite games and those spreads. We're going to pick those games, and then one of those games is going to be our super lock, which is going to be worth 2 points. We are going to keep track of our totals throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, we are going to see who is going to win. It is probably going to be me. And AK and James are going to pay me all the monies. I thought I'd lost last year. I think come in last year actually. So who won last year? James?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I demand a recount. Stop the count. Stop the count.
Yeah, I like this format. This will be interesting. A lot like kind of the super contest that you see in like Vegas, and I know DraftKings does a contest like this too, where you pick 5 spreads. So I'm excited to beat you guys.
No, not this year. Not happening. I've already made the decision that I'm going to win not only every fantasy league I'm in, also DFS every single week and all my betting. It's going to be.
It's a great season to win every bet.
Yeah, it's just like right now I'm just feeling ready to go. I feel like I can't lose at this point.
Well, you're paying for your Vegas days pick, so you're good.
Yeah, yes, obviously that is what we do. We see what Vegas Dave does. Maybe we pay him to see what he does, so we do the opposite. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into it. James, you are the winner, sir. So we will let you talk about your first game on your card first.
Yeah, my first game is going to be Seattle, -2.5 traveling to Indianapolis. I know there's always concern with a West Coast team traveling East Coast, but if you look it up historically, Russell Wilson against the spread is very good traveling to the East Coast in those 1:00 games. I don't have any concerns with that. I like this number at under a field goal being a short favorite. I just think the Colts had a very bad offseason with COVID and with Wentz injuries and getting COVID and their starting linemen being out. I just think that team's kind of in a little bit of disarray, and I just like the Seahawks to win this game by a field goal or more. So I'm going to go with Seattle -2.5.
I also have that game on my card, Seattle -2.5. I think that Seattle is a team that could be kind of sneaky to win the West this year. We talked about on our season preview. I think people are really kind of underrating how good Russell Wilson is and how potentially good this Seahawks team could be. So I love that number of -2.5, like you mentioned, where it's a field goal that could win them this game. I think there was whispers of Seattle bringing in their new OC and wanting to run more of a quick passing game and play action stuff to help Russell Wilson, to help the offensive line that struggled this past year. I think that is only going to help them. It's only going to make them more efficient on offense. So I like Seattle quite a bit in this game, even with Wentz just getting a clean bill of health and them saying he's going to play. I'll take the Seahawks in that one. AK, why don't you tell us what the first game on your card is?
I'm taking Carolina -4.5 versus the Jets. More I'm betting against the Jets than I am for the Panthers. The Jets are starting a rookie coach, rookie quarterback on the road. They were 2-14 last year, didn't really get much better in the offseason. So I just think a touchdown should be more the line, especially Carolina being home.
And I think you can't forget the revenge factor for Mr. Sam Darnold. Playing
Love
against his old team. You can never underestimate the old revenge game. No, don't take that into account when you're betting games. All right, James, give us your second game on your card.
Second game, I'm going to go with Minnesota -3 at Cincinnati. I don't love like taking all these favorites, as you'll see, but I just think that Minnesota's a better team here with Burrow coming back from injury. That defense on the Cincinnati side of the ball, I don't think they're going to be able to contain guys like Cook, Jefferson, and Thielen. I just think the Minnesota offense is too good, and I think their front on the defense will be able to slow the Bengals down a little bit too. So -3, I think is a good number. -3.5, I probably would stay away from this game. I don't like that hook, but I like this at -3.
Hey, are you going to take that disrespect against your team? Can't even.
Oh, the Bengals are going to be terrible this year.
You really think that? Does Jamar Chase only catching one pass in the preseason have anything to do with that?
I just think that, Burrow looks a little shaky. The defense didn't get much better. Offensive line didn't get much better. They play in the best division in football. They're going to win 4 or 5 games.
I think they're just going to get off to a slow start. I think Burrow's a little rusty, and I think this is just a great opportunity to take advantage of that. Week one, you've got an experienced quarterback with strong receivers and a very strong running back and a decent front on the defensive side of the ball for Minnesota. So.
Yeah, that line actually does seem like short when you look at it for all that it is with that matchup.
Yeah.
AK, why don't you go ahead and tell us your second game on your card?
I'm taking Philadelphia +3 versus Atlanta. I don't really trust Atlanta's defense right now. The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in football, if not at least the NFC. They have a good defensive front, and I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback to keep a game close here. So I like them getting the points.
Very good, very good. I'm going to go with the Patriots and the Dolphins. The Patriots are -3. I think that the Patriots have a chance to make the playoffs this year. I think that they're going to come out week one. They have a very good front seven. They're going to be able to create pressure on Tua. Will Fuller is suspended, so that takes out one of the good passing options for Tua. And Belichick against young quarterbacks, even though Tua is a second-year starter, it's still only his second year. It's basically only his first full offseason. He could come out with an entire offseason and really get out there and get after Tua, I think. So I like the Patriots quite a bit. And again, a team kind of like Seattle that I think people might be underestimating a little bit overall for the entire season. So I'll take the Patriots there with -3, even with the rookie Mac Jones starting in his first NFL game. I like them there. James, your third game.
Yeah, I'm with AK on the Eagles at +3. I think this. I do think this is actually going to be a sneaky high-scoring game. I like the over in this game. I think that's at 48. I think this could be a high-scoring shootout. I just like the points. I think they're too evenly matched teams. I worry about the Falcons' defense. I think the Eagles have a slight advantage there. So really, just a situation where I like the points. And honestly, I'm just worried about taking all favorites this week. So I got to put an underdog in there somewhere.
Fair enough. AK, what about you? What's your next one?
I'm actually going to go with the Detroit Lions getting 7.5 versus the 49ers. The 49ers have a new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, and with the Trey Lance and Jimmy G splitting reps this summer, don't really know what that's going to do to their offense. And I just think 7.5 points at home is a lot to be getting.
I'm not, this game's not on my card, but I'm on the opposite side of that as you. I think that the 49ers come out and just murder ball the Lions. But we will see. We will see. That's an interesting one. That would be an interesting one to get right if that would be a really good call by you. The next game on my card is going to be the Baltimore Ravens versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Ravens at -4. I just think the Raiders stink. They're not doing anything well at this point. They got rid of a lot of their starting offensive line. The Ravens are a good football team up front on the defensive side of the ball. The Raiders defense has gotten no better at all, basically. I think Lamar comes out and is going to run all over them with him and Gus Bus. And I think this could be a pretty lopsided one pretty quickly. I think that Gruden's seat is going to be pretty hot by midseason because I think the Raiders could have a chance to be one of the worst teams in the NFL in the bottom third at least in the NFL. So I'll take the Ravens -4. James, back to you.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on this one. I like the Chiefs -5.5. I especially like this because this total has come down a point over the last day or so. I think it's at 5.5. I see them winning by at least a touchdown. I think they are just the better team. I think the Browns will have a good season, but I think this is a tough matchup for them week 1. So give me the Chiefs in this one.
AK?
Yeah, I'm taking Kansas City as well. This feels more like a neutral line or a neutral field line to me than Kansas City at home and home opener. I think a lot of the stuff has to come with the Browns offseason hype. And the Chiefs got really good this offseason on the offensive line, but no one cares about the offensive line. So people don't really pay attention to that. So I love Kansas City here.
So is this line saying that the Chiefs are only 2.5 points better than the Browns?
That's what it seems like, which is wild to me.
That's why I said this feels like a neutral field line to me.
Yeah. This is my super lock. I'm obviously a Chiefs
Spoilers.
fan. I'm obviously a Chiefs fan. You can see the banner hanging in the background and my Derek Thomas painting. If I have another show over on Arrowhead Live called The Coach's Corner. We did our preview last night. That show is actually out on YouTube if you want to check that out. But I made the prediction on the show last night. I think the Chiefs win 38-20. I think they come out and they absolutely just roll the Browns. The Browns have been talking all offseason about how, they had a chance in this playoff game that they played in and blah, blah, blah. And little do they realize, and everybody realized, that they're on route to just get murdered by Patrick Mahomes until he got injured and had to go out of the game and Chad Henne came in. So give me the Chiefs, their new revamped offensive line, their defense with an entire offseason to game plan for them. I mentioned this on our betting show that there's a chart kind of going around Twitter right now that shows week 1 performances by quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes is in another atmosphere compared to every other quarterback in the NFL. So I think that it is going to be a long day for the Browns, and that's why it is going to be my super lock. James, your super lock.
Yeah, I'm going with the Broncos -3, traveling to the New York Giants. I think some people feel like this is kind of a trap game, but I just like Denver's defense against a Giants offense that I don't think is going to look very good. I think we're going to see Saquon Barkley, but I think he's going to be on a pitch count. You basically have your star wide receiver that you just spent way too much money on coming out and publicly saying that he thinks the offense is going to start slow. How do you come out and say that about your team? Is he even playing? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'm referring to Smooth Routes by Kenny Galladay. I just don't think the Giants are going to be able to put up many points against this Denver defense. I think the Denver defense has legit 4 starting caliber cornerbacks. I think they're really good on that side of the ball, and I just don't know how they're really going to be able to do a lot. I think Teddy Bridgewater is known to cover spreads, and I just think he's going to manage that game fine for them to cover 3. So that's my super lock of the week.
I think that's a pretty good call. I think Denver gets all over them. AK, what about you?
Well, the true super lock is bet Ravens money line in the preseason, but I'm going to roll that over to Baltimore -4.5 versus Vegas this week. The last 3 years, week 1, the Ravens have outscored their opponents 144-19 the last 3 years, and their Lamar Jackson is 13-4-1 against the spread in his career on the road. They're the better team, top to bottom, and I just think they come out and just roll the Vegas Raiders.
Are you guys at all worried about this being the Raiders opening game for the new stadium and just them being hyped and pumped? And
No.
Derek Carr just wearing mascara and
That makes me nervous. But other than that, do you think there'll be more Ravens fans? In all honesty, like the Vegas being a destination game, like I feel like this is going to be like almost split stadiums all the time.
Yeah,
it's going to be like
split.
the Chargers games were in
Yeah,
San Diego, right?
right. It's just going to be split. It's like Nashville. Like half of the time, the Titans games, like a quarter to the half of the stadium is filled up with other fans because everybody just wants to go to the city and party.
Yeah.
And even like the Vegas fans, they're like creating like a party atmosphere in the stadium. So it'll be intriguing to see like crowd noise and stuff because in one end zone they're having like bottle service and like girls dancing. So like
a DJ bottle
people
service.
are really paid attention to the game. So like the home field advantage is already a moot point to me there.
It is going to be super. It's going to be the TV's or the stadium's going to look great on TV though. I'll tell you what, that black, that Death Star looking.
Did you see Mike Davis is building a house to replicate the stadium?
Is he really?
Yeah, like in Vegas. It looks pretty sick.
Yeah, that's well. When you have a lot of money, you can do those things. My last pick. So I already gave you my super lock. My last pick is going to be the Washington football team against those Chargers. This game has been bouncing all over the place between a pick 'em and then Washington was +1 and then they were -1. I'm going to take them at -1. Obviously, if you can find them as a pick 'em, I would recommend that. But I just like Washington here with their defense. Justin Herbert obviously was awesome last year as a rookie, but it is a new offense. It is a new head coach. It is a new defense. This Washington team has weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They have a ferocious defense. So give me the Washington Fighting Fitzpatricks and that beard all day.
This will be Herbert's first game on the road with fans too, right? Like his rookie season, he was used to playing in empty stadiums. So this will really be a true test for him.
I was gonna ask you guys that. What do you think? Because a lot of these quarterbacks, these younger guys, even like a Tua, and that's part of the reason I liked with the Patriots. Like they haven't played in front of crowds. They haven't felt that pressure of a home or away crowd, cheering and going crazy.
I'm not really sure because you went to the Alabama LSU game.
Right.
The crowd noises in some of those big schools are more than you'll see in the NFL. And I don't know how much more pressure you can get for Tua, let's just say playing national championships in LSU. Maybe for some of the small schools, like I can't think of someone off the top of my head, but
like Ryan
if Trey Lance is making his debut, like because he played in a small school, but
I think it's the thing. I think it's just a different type of pressure when you reach the NFL. I think the game moves at a different speed. You're looking at bigger guys on the other side of the ball. I've often said that I, as a Bills fan, worry about this year with Josh Allen because I feel like he's played what I call spazzy ball in the past, just kind of letting like I don't know if I want to say pressure, but just like the hype of the game, the pressure of the moment kind of get to him. And I do wonder, a guy like him, a guy like Herbert, just like what that crowd noise is going to bring, how it's going to affect them. And I certainly think that it's the thing and it will affect their performance. So I buy into that stuff.
Yeah, I think it is, it is different. It'll be different and it'll be interesting to see, last year, the COVID years, was there like a huge increase in points and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that is the offense that's getting better. But I think some of that is that you're playing in empty stadiums that everybody hears the checks. You can, the offensive line isn't missing an offensive check, an offensive call, a line adjustment against a blitz. Whereas maybe they do if there's crowd noise and stuff like that. And in games in the NFL, man, the edges are so razor thin that stuff like that matters. So we'll see.
I was going to say, I forgot who it was. It was a corner, but he was on the McAfee show saying he loved the fans because he could hear all the checks out at corner. So he didn't have to worry about having blown coverage because he didn't hear, he's supposed to be in an island instead of cover 3 or something and blow coverages. So I think it kind of goes both ways. I think it helps offense a little bit more, but defense is also benefited.
Yeah.
That makes sense. No, that definitely makes sense. All right, let's finish the show out with maybe some other bets that we liked for the week, or if something that we saw maybe season long that we're definitely putting our money down on. We'll start with you, AK. For this week, do you like any point totals, over-unders? What are you looking at?
I like the Rams game going under this week. I'm bringing up exact score for it. My internet is being really slow.
46.5.
Yep.
Yeah, 46.5. I think that if the Rams want to win games like 24-10, 27-13, I just don't think the game goes over this week.
Can we talk about that game being on Monday night? Like, there are all these good games: Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cleveland, Washington Chargers, and the Rams and the Bears are on Monday night.
What I think they did is the Rams and the Raiders were supposed to get primetime games last season for their new stadiums with fans, and they couldn't do that. So I think they promised them. That's the only reason, right? Like, they got to showcase their new stadiums in prime time.
100%.
And they want the games are starting. Oh, there's only one Monday night game this year. Never mind. I was thinking
they switched it to, I think it's week 17 or week 18. They're doing like a doubleheader on like a Saturday, something weird like that.
Yeah, never mind. For some reason, I was thinking the Rams are Monday night. I just had a brain fart.
No, they want to showcase the stadiums. But it's just like, if you want to do that, like, make it like the Rams Seahawks or Rams 49ers, like, so, you know what I mean? Like somebody good. And you know, and the Bears are starting Andy Dalton, AK's favorite Red Rocket.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. All right, James, what about you? You got any other totals or anything you like this week?
I haven't fired away, and I just fired away on Vikings -3. So I have bets there. I have the Broncos. I do have them at -2.5, but I like them at -3. On the totals, I kind of like the under 50 for the Colts Seahawks game. Again, I think that's going to be kind of a running game. I'm back on my teaser bullshit. I do have a 6-point teaser with I brought Tampa Bay down to -2, and I do have the Rams down to -1.5. I think those two teams should win and cover those point spreads easily. So I've got a 6-point teaser there.
Go ahead, AK.
I was going to say, I don't know when this is going to come out, but I have that Dallas will score any point in the first quarter at like -105. I think that's a very easy bet. And I have a couple first touchdowns just to make the game fun, but I'm not going to get into those.
Nice. Does the Cardinals Titans over 52.5 do anything for you? This is a game I really like in DFS. I think it's going to be fast paced. I think there's going to be a lot of points. 52.5 is a pretty big number, but I think I like the over in that game.
I love, for somebody that's all in on that matchup for DFS, like, I should easily just say hammer the over, but 52.5 just kind of scary. When I think about it, like, I don't see, like, what would have to happen in that game for that over to not hit? Is it just like a Derrick Henry game, and then like Kyler Murray just can't do anything?
Yeah, like to me, it's like, even if you look at like, okay, 27-24 is 51, so that's still the under, but like, it literally just takes 30-27, 30-24, which this game could easily do, right?
How about this stat though? Kyle Murray has never hit the over on an away game.
Does that mean he's due? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know.
Did you just make that up?
Over.
Is that real?
No, it's real.
What? I heard this. I'll bring this up. It's, I don't know. You can throw it away if you want, but so kind of along the lines of the fans in the stadium. Arizona didn't play an away preseason game. Their only away preseason game got canceled. It was supposed to be in New Orleans, so it got canceled for the hurricane. So this could be a shock to the system for them. They didn't play, in front of fans last season. Didn't get a chance to do that in the preseason, and then you have to travel across country to Tennessee. Do with that what you will, but I heard that on a podcast, and it made me think a little bit. So could affect their play. It could be nothing, but I thought it's worth mentioning.
That is an interesting thought. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's too hard to speculative to say. You don't know.
2 other stats to think about in this game though.
Holy moly.
Tennessee has gone over in its last 16 of 21 games and 23-10 in their last 33. So the over looks pretty good for Tennessee.
Yeah, the defenses are so bad. Like
Right.
that's
Like,
secondaries especially.
Like legitimate. Who is playing corner for the Cardinals? Like I think their best corner is like a second year. I can't even think it's Byron Murphy from Washington.
Well, they have Buda Baker back there.
Yeah, but he's a safety. Who's playing corner? They have no experience at corner. They have like no good corners. Like
let's look.
Malcolm Butler? No, they
Byron
lost
Murphy.
Malcolm Butler.
they lost Pat Peterson. They lost Malcolm Butler. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. There's no.
They got Luke Barkin.
Dude, they have no corners.
Like
Robert Elford, Marco Wilson, Byron Murphy.
Yeah. Like I think Byron Murphy might be their best corner, and he's a second-year player.
Yeah, they have a 4th-round rookie, Marco Wilson.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's like the Titan, like Tannehill, AJ Brown, Julio stack. The over in this game. I don't know.
On the flip side, the Titans have a cornerback that Caleb Farley. They just drafted him, right? He hasn't had a very good. He hasn't had a very good camp. Janoris Jenkins, who's been a journeyman. Yeah, I mean the secondaries in this game are just brutal.
Dude, give me all the pass options in DFS. Give me the over 52.5. Let's go.
Subscribe.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right. The other, I'll tell you the season long bet that I looked today, and I just could not believe my eyes when I saw it. Chris Jones to win Defensive Player of the Year at 65-1. He's playing defensive end pretty much full time this year, and he was basically unstoppable this preseason. 65-1 is just a ridiculous number. Like he's long been the second best interior pass rusher to Aaron Donald, who's an alien, so he like almost doesn't count. But at 65-1, like that is just an absurd number. So I love that. That's worth throwing some money down. Even if you throw $10, it could turn into 650. So I like that bet a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You do.
I like the over on a lot of the Najee Harris props. I think the last time I looked, his rushing season long over or total was like 990 rushing yards, which is like 53 yards a game. And then his receptions was like 44.5, which is like less than 3 receptions a game. So I'm high on him this year. I just think, again, volume is king. And I do think Tomlin has a history of riding that bell cow back. We saw that with Le'Veon Bell. We saw that with
James Conner,
and who was before Bell? Jeez, I'm drawing a blank.
Fast Willie Parker?
No. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I think Tomlin has a history of wanting to ride that bell cow back. I don't think there's really a viable backup option there. Big Ben's he's on his way out, so I think they're just gonna smash the run game.
Yeah, I'm with you on Najee. I like him. Like you said, volume is king, and Tomlin just has a history of being a one-back kind of guy, unlike Doug Peterson, who is a running back by committee type guy. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here, fellas? AK, you?
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you bet college football, check out my Twitter. I post my picks. I'm 2-1 on the year in college football, so bet every night of the week if you can.
Sound advice. James, any thoughts on the way out of here?
I tail AK's college football picks. I'm actually 3-0 on college football, and I know nothing about it. Thanks, AK. Thanks, internet. Look, guys, we got one more sleep, and football's here. We made it.
It's the best time of the year. Better than Christmas. Better than anything. Football.
D'Angelo Williams.
Guys.
That's what I was thinking of.
Nice.
Over under 0.5 games moved due to COVID this year.
Under.
I'll take the over.
I'm gonna take the over.
I want Wednesday night football again. That's the only reason I say that. Give it to me.
Double headers on Tuesdays, Wednesday night games. We had it all during COVID. All right, fellas and ladies, we appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you're leaving in the comments. What is your favorite bet of the week? What's your lock? We gave you ours. You can find us on Twitter at Fitchy24, at Kenny Truelove, and I am at JDiz1617. Let's get hot this weekend. Let's win some bets. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll talk to you later. Deuces.